are in the basement with Tim Ross.
We have to always honor the past while celebrating the present and looking forward to the future. Okay, I have 5 generations represented at Embassy City. I have baby boomers. I have Gen X. I have millennials. I have Zs. And I have alphas. That's 5 generations. And the oldest people in that room remember church much differently than the way it's expressed right now. I honor them because if it wasn't for what they did in their generation, I couldn't step into what I'm doing in mine. And so we need to celebrate the past while embracing the present and looking towards the future. Because I'm going to blink. Y'all are going to blink. And we'll be boomers. And Generation Alpha will securely be in the seat of influence. It'll be their time. And I'm going to be 65 one day, 75 one day, going, we didn't used to sing it like that. Right? And I can keep the album. I dated myself. I can keep the song, right, in my iTunes and play it the way I remember it, and then come to church and get with the way you decided to remix it. It's a celebration of past and present so that we can continue to look towards the future. So the people, listen, well, when I was at Gateway Grand Prairie and I spoke there, the central young adult pastor guy, dude has to be in his 60s, right? If not his 70s. The dude's name is Lamar. Okay, Lamar got a white mustache, all white. There's not one strand of black. This dude is gray. Do you know how much wisdom is in this dude's mustache? There is more wisdom in this dude's upper lip than every 25-year-old combined in that young adult ministry. They'd be foolish not to listen to this dude. This dude's been in youth ministry for 52 years. This is a guy that as he got older, his heart got even bigger for young people. He's a lifer in youth ministry. If somebody doesn't listen to them, that is just spiritual suicide. This dude can save you 10 steps with a 10-minute conversation. And you're 22 thinking you know it all and thinking, oh, he's old. He's been you 3 times. Listen to Lamar. Hashtag that. Listen to Lamar. This dude's upper lip has more wisdom than the dopest 25-year-old in that whole building. That's all I'm going to say. Bro, that's all I'm going to say on it. That's it.
So I just want to say, like, the generation thing that you're hitting on right now, it's so interesting to me because there's such conflict between generations, right? It's always like you always see boomers against millennials against boomers and Gen Z and all that. When what you're hitting on, right, is the ownership of it.
Yeah.
And like how we need to partner with each other. And so is there a way to combat like not like a universal answer, but like a mindset that we could step into that helps us go, you know what? I can learn from this person and vice versa, because I think that older people have things that they can possibly adapt to that is more efficient in the way that the younger generation can think.
Yeah.
How do you healthily and honorably do that?
Yeah. So God is the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. Not Abraham. Not Isaac. See how awkward I'm leaving this tension? Not Jacob. He's the God of Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob. What is he telling you? I'm a generational God. I want the guy that started it. I want the guy that carried it and I want the guy that finished it or the guy that multiplied it, right? And so if he's a generational God, we need to be generational people. And we need to create space for the wisdom to be next to the to be next to the strength of the youth, right? We need to create space where these connections can happen and people can feel like, wow, I'm still necessary. I'm still needed. Mary Jo Pierce is one of my favorite human beings on the face of the planet. She has a heart for prayer. She's deeply prophetic. And every time her and her husband, Bruce, come to this church, my tears well up in my eyes. Okay. They've seen every move of God you could possibly imagine in every configuration you could possibly imagine, spanning 4 generations at this point. And they'll come in here and Bruce will come in here and he'll just go, that word was so amazing. Dude, I feel like when an older person in the faith compliments me on my preaching, you can't tell me nothing. Not that I don't care if a 22-year-old compliments me, but when somebody's been in the faith for 60 years and says, when you preach that sermon, I never heard it like that before, I'm like, oh, I'm winning. God is pleased. And people are being used to like confirm, like, man, I'm on the right track. So we need people to connect with each other. We need generations to connect with each other and to, instead of finding out what the differences are, be curious about where we can make connection. Be curious about where we can actually, what can I learn from you and what can you learn from me, right? My kids help my parents navigate their iPhones. And my parents help their grandkids navigate their lives. Because they did this already.